Very good morning. Uh, we are going to discuss today about physiology of thalamus. Diencephalon of forebrain has two major parts, thalamus and hypothalamus. Thalamus is a large egg-shaped cluster of nuclei, as we can see in the diagram. Location of thalamus: it is located in upper part of lateral wall of the third ventricle. Two thalami on either side, they lie close to each other in their cephalic two-third and are joined across the midline by a mass of gray matter called massa intermedia. It is a major sensory relay station, all general and spatial sensations except olfaction and afferent impulses from the reticular activating system synapse in the thalamus. It is important integrating center for most of the inputs before relaying them to the cerebral cortex. As we have seen in the sensory tracts, many of the sensation, the first order and the second order neuron, they are ultimately terminating first into the thalamus, and from there via the thalamocortical fibers they are projecting into the various respective areas of the cortex. Therefore, it is said to be one of the very important integrating centers. There are different nuclei in the thalamus. The classification is shown in this particular diagram. It mainly has anterior, medial, and lateral nuclei. Anterior group of nuclei are together called anterior nucleus. Medial, it is having medial dorsal nucleus. Lateral, there are lateral group and the ventral. Lateral dorsal, lateral posterior, and pulvinar are the part of lateral group, and ventral anterior, ventral lateral, and ventral posterior are the part of ventral group of. Ventral posterior group of nucleus has got two parts: ventral posteromedial nucleus and ventral posterolateral. This is another diagram that shows the various nuclei of the thalamus. Another view by which various nuclei or their classification of the thalamus can be studied. This is an overall classification of variety of thalamic nuclei. It is mainly of three types: neuroanatomical classification, developmental classification, and functional classification. Neuroanatomically, it is having lateral group, medial group, and anterior group. Lateral group, two types: ventral group and dorsal group. Dorsal group is also called lateral. Ventral group has got ventral anterior, ventral lateral, ventral posterior, lateral geniculate body, and medial geniculate. Whereas dorsal or the lateral group has got latero-posterior, latero-dorsal, and the pulvinar. Medial group of nuclei contain centromedian, dorsal median, and midline nucleus. Anterior group of nuclei has got anterior ventral, anterior dorsal, and anterior medial group of. Developmental classification: there are three varieties: dorsal thalamus, which includes extrinsic or cortical relay nuclei and the intrinsic. Then ventral thalamus and epithalamus. Functional classification: there are two varieties again: non-specific projection nuclei and specific projection. Let us see one by one. Neuroanatomical classification: lateral group, as we have studied, there is ventral group as well as dorsal or the lateral group. This is the location of the nuclei. Neuroanatomical classification: thalamus is divided into three nuclear groups by internal medullary lamina, which is consisting of white, as lateral group of nuclei, which are of two types: ventral group and dorsal group. Dorsal group is also called ventral group of nuclei, as we have already studied. It has got ventral anterior, ventral lateral, ventral posterior nuclei along with medial and lateral geniculate body. Dorsal or the lateral group, it has got pulvinar, as we can see in the diagram, lateral posterior, and lateral dorsal. Medial group of nuclei has got centromedian, dorsal medial nucleus, and midline nuclei, which that is now cell in the massa intermedia. After that, anterior group of nuclei, which contain anterior ventral nucleus, anterior dorsal nucleus, and anterior medial. They are enclosed by bifurcation of internal medullary lamina, as we can see. This is the overall classification that is in the way of neuroanatomical. Then second variety is developmental classification, which has got three different types: dorsal thalamus, which contain extrinsic or cortical relay nuclei, and the intrinsic nuclei. Along with that, ventral thalamus and epithalamus. Dorsal thalamus, in extrinsic group, there is a posteroventral nucleus, lateroventral nucleus, anterior nucleus, medial and lateral, as we can see. Intrinsic nuclei, they interconnect with each other and mainly receive afferent fibers from other structures in the thalamus, and it includes midline nucleus and intralaminar nuclei, which include centromedian nucleus, parafascicular nucleus, limitans nucleus, central nucleus, paracentral nucleus, and central lateral. Coming on to the third way of classification, which is functional classification, has got two different varieties: non-specific projection nuclei and specific projection nuclei. Non-specific projection nuclei, they are receiving impulses from reticular activating system and projecting diffusely to whole of the neuron. For example, midline and the intralaminar nuclei. Impulses in them are responsible for diffuse secondary responses and the alerting effects of the reticular activating. Coming on to specific projection nuclei, they project to specific portion of the neocortex, and hence the name, and limbic system, and are divided into three groups: neocortex, most recently evolved part of the cerebral cortex concerned with sight, that is vision, and hearing in mammals, as we can see here. It is the most superficial and most recently evolved part, neocortex. The reptilian brain, it is called reptilian brain or limbic brain, as it includes the main structure found in the reptile's brain, that is brainstem and the cerebellum. Oldest of the three, controls body's vital functions such as heart rate, breathing, body temperature, and balance. This is the reptilian. Specific projection nuclei project to specific portion of the neocortex and limbic system and are divided into three: specific sensory relay nuclei, nuclei concerned with the motor control mechanism, and nuclei which are concerned with complex integrative form. The first one, specific sensory relay nuclei, medial and lateral geniculate body, which receive the respectively auditory and visual information areas of cerebral. Posteroventral group of nuclei, which relays somesthetic information to the postcentral gyrus or the sensory cortex or somatosensory area. As we can see here, the optic tract is giving input fibers to the lateral geniculate body, whereas the from lateral geniculate body, the relay fibers are going to primary visual cortex in the posterior lobe of the cerebrum. Then from inferior colliculus, input is going to the medial geniculate body, that is auditory input, and the output is relaying to the primary auditory cortex, that is area 41 and 40. Nuclei concerned with motor control mechanism are the ventrolateral group of nuclei, which are concerned with the motor function. They receive input from basal ganglia, cerebellum, and ultimately are projecting to the motor cortex. An anterior group of nuclei are concerned with recent memory and emotions. They receive afferent from mammillary body and project to limbic cortex. As we can see here, from basal ganglia and cerebellum, the input is coming to ventrolateral group of nucleus, and ultimately output is going to the primary motor cortex, and hence this particular nucleus is concerned with the motor function. Then the mammillothalamic tract, that is from the mammillary body, giving input to the anterior group of nuclei, and output is coming to the cingulate cortex, and therefore it is concerned with the emotion and memory. Nuclei concerned with complex integrative function are the dorsolateral nuclei, which project to cortical association areas of the cerebral cortex and are concerned with the functions like language. This is a functional division of major thalamic nuclei. As we can see, this is a functional modality, that is sensory nuclei, motor nuclei, limbic nuclei, and multimodal. Depending on whatever functions we have discussed up till now, the nuclei are functionally divided. Coming on to the various connections of the thalamic, that is from where they receive the afferent, where is the efferent going, and what ultimately the function is playing. We can go through this chart. The first one is showing the specific nuclei, and the second one is for the non-specific. This particular diagram is showing the various connections of the thalamus and its nuclei. Let us study in detail the connection of thalamus. Connection of anterior group of thalamic. Anterior group contain or include three nuclei: antroventral, anteromedial, and anterodorsal. They are collectively called as anterior. It is receiving afferent fiber from the mammillary body. This is the mammillary body here. It is receiving afferent from the mammillary body through the mammillothalamic. Efferent is sent reciprocally to the medial surface of hemisphere, from the medial surface of hemisphere to the anterior part of limbic system, cingulate gyrus, parahippocampal gyrus, and the connections are reciprocal. Function: it helps in regulation of alertness and attention, emotions, and the acquisition of present memory. Connections of medial group of thalamic nuclei. Medial group of thalamic nuclei include centromedian, dorsomedian nucleus, which has got lateral and medial part, midline nucleus, that is nerve cell in the massa interval. The lateral part of the dorsomedial nucleus receives afferent from superior colliculus, olfactory cortex, and ventral pallidum, whereas efferent is given to frontal eye field area and to the anterior cingulate cortex of the frontal lobe, and therefore it is involved in controlling the eye movements and attending to visual stimuli, but also it is playing a role in the medial part of the dorsomedian nucleus along with the midline nuclei receiving afferent from several brain areas, which include solitary nucleus, substantia nigra reticulata, amygdala, and ventral. Whereas the efferent is given to limbic areas of the cortex, including insular cortex, orbital frontal cortex, and subcallosal function. It is involved in autonomic regulation and emotion. Connections of lateral group of thalamic. Lateral group has got two parts, dorsal and ventral, and these are the variety of nuclei in the dorsal and the ventral group that we have already seen. Let us study the connection of this dorsal group of nuclei. First, we will consider the lateral dorsal group of nuclei. They receive afferent from the anterior and the medial group of thalamic nuclei and giving efferent to cingulate and parahippocampal gyrus and the then lateral posterior group of nuclei receiving afferent fibers from ventral posterior group of thalamic nuclei and giving their efferent fibers to superior parietal lobule, mainly to area 5 and 7. Whereas the last one, that is pulvinar, it is receiving afferent from lateral and medial geniculate bodies as well as the superior colliculus, giving rise to efferent fibers to association areas of parietal, occipital, and the temporal lobes of the. These three group of nuclei, that is lateral, dorsal, lateral posterior, and pulvinar, the complexity of the functions of association areas to which it projects beside the visual area, particularly in the temporal lobe, that is for the perception, cognition, and memory, suggests the role of pulvinar in modulating its functions. Then important connections of the ventral group, which includes ventral anterior nucleus and ventral lateral. Ventral anterior is receiving afferent from globus pallidus and the substantia nigra, whereas efferent is going to the premotor area of the cerebral cortex, that is area 6. Function is unclear, but as it is going to the motor area, may influence the motor activity of the motor body. Ventral lateral nucleus is receiving afferent from cerebellum through the dentatorubro-thalamic tract. Efferent project to the motor cortex, that is area 4. Both these ventral anterior and ventral lateral nucleus, the function is unclear, but ultimately they are projecting to the motor areas of the cerebral cortex, therefore may have role in influencing the motor activity. Important connections of the ventral group of ventral posterior group. Ventral posterior nucleus has got two parts, medial part and the lateral part. The medial part is receiving afferent from the trigeminothalamic tract and solitariothalamic tract, whereas the lateral part is receiving afferent from medial lemniscus and fibers from the spinothalamic tract. Efferent is ultimately projecting from both the parts, that is lateral and medial, to the somatosensory cortex and the ascending reticular activating function in touch, body, position, pain, temperature, each, test, and arousal. Important connection of the ventral group of nuclei, that is medial and lateral geniculate body. Medial geniculate body, it is a relay station for auditory pathway and consists of medial, ventral, and dorsal nuclei. Whereas it is receiving afferent fibers. See, this is the medial geniculate body. It is receiving afferent fiber from the lateral lemniscus. This is the lateral lemniscus, which is the part of auditory path. And it is also receiving fibers from auditory areas of the cerebral cortex. Efferent, it's ultimately going to auditory cortex, that is primary auditory area, from the ventral nucleus via the acoustic radii. These are the acoustic radii. Lateral geniculate body, it is receiving afferent from both the retini, superior colliculus, pontine reticular formation, and efferents are ultimately going to pulvinar, visual areas of the cerebral cortex, and superior cortex, as well as variety of areas in the pons and medial. Connections of the intralaminar thalamic nucleus. Afferent, that is for the anterior group, is received by the fibers from superior colliculus, reticular formation, and collaterals from the spinal thalamic. Whereas the posterior group receives afferent from cerebellar nuclei, collateral from the spinothalamic tract, substantia nigra, and the globus pallidus of the basal. Efferent from the anterior group, the fibers are diffuse and they are reaching to the many parts of the cerebral cortex. Whereas from the posterior group, the fibers are projecting to motor, premotor, and supplementary motor area, as well as the striatum. Function. Their precise functional role is not that much clear, but they may mediate cortical activation from the brainstem reticular formation and thus may influence levels of consciousness and alertness in an individual. They also play an important part in sensory motor integration. Coming on to midline nuclei, connections of midline nuclei, they are receiving afferent fiber from hypothalamus, periaqueductal gray matter of midbrain, reticular formation, and the collateral from the spinothalamic tract. Along with this, they are also receiving ascending noradrenergic fibers from the locus ceruleus, serotonergic axon from the raphe magnus nuclei, as we can see here, and they are along with these two also receiving cholinergic input from the efferent. Efferent is mainly going to the orbitofrontal cingulate and hippocampal formation, amygdala and nucleus function. They are closely related to limbic system and therefore may play a role in memory as well as in the arousal mechanism. Connections of reticular nuclei, part of ventral thalamus or the thalamus. It is made up of thin layer of neurons, covers lateral aspect of the thalamus separated by extramedullary lamina. Laterally, it is related to internal cap. Afferent, which is received by this reticular nuclei, is from thalamocortical, corticothalamic, thalamostriatal, and pallidothalamic fibers. Along with that, cholinergic fibers are also giving afferents from the reticular formation. Thus, reticular nucleus receives somatic, visual, and auditory impulses. Efferents are going to the body of thalamus, and mostly these efferent fibers are functions of the thalamus. After being going through the connections of the thalamus in detail, now depending on the connections, let us discuss the variety of functions that the thalamus is bringing. First and foremost is it is a relay station for all somatic sensation. Thalamus is major relay station for all sensory inputs in humans as well as in the higher end. It conveys sensory information which is received by different sets of fibers to the cerebral cortex through the set of thalamocortical projections or the fibers. Second is it is a relay station for spatial sensation. It is a relay center for all the spatial sensation along with the general sensation, but except for the smell or the olfaction. Medial and lateral geniculate body is receiving auditory and visual afferent respectively, and the ventro-posterolateral nucleus receives the test afferent. Arousal mechanism. thalamocortical projection from the non-specific nuclei go to the cortex. They contribute to reticular activating system, which activate arousal mechanism and helps in keeping the individual, and therefore thalamus is said to have role in arousal. Next is subcortical perception of sensation. Subcortical perception of pain, temperature, pressure occur to some extent in thalamus before these sensations are actually projecting to the somatosensory cortex. Thalamus is therefore is not only relay station but also the integration center for this particular type of sensation, and therefore these sensations remain intact considerably whenever there is a damage or lesion to the motor function. Thalamus is an integral part of the motor loop of the brain, in which the globus pallidus of the basal ganglia project mainly to ventro-posterolateral nucleus of thalamus via the pallidothalamic tract. This is the pallidothalamic. This is pallidum, globus pallidum, and from the here the fibers are going mainly to the ventro-posterolateral nucleus of thalamus, and these fibers are set to the pallidothalamic tract. Thalamus project to the cortex via thalamocortical fibers, which project back to the basal ganglia. Through this motor loop, thalamus influences postural movements. Thalamus also links the cerebellum and the cortex via the dentatorubro-thalamocortical tract. This particular dentatorubro-thalamocortical tract. Through this connection, thalamus influence planning and programming of the movements. As here, the cerebellum, basal ganglia, as well as red nucleus and the cortex are. Coming on to next function, it is said to have role in memory and emotion. Anterior thalamus is constituent of Pepys circuit, which receives input from mammillary body of the limbic system via the mammillothalamic. These are the mammillary bodies receiving input from the mammillary bodies via the mammillothalamic. Through this connection, thalamus is concerned with recent memory as well as emotion. Next function is synchronization of the EEG, electroencephalogram. Stimulation of intralaminar thalamic nuclei at low frequency causes synchronization of EEG waves recorded from the ipsilateral cortex. This is called recruiting response. However, higher frequency stimulation causes arousal and desynchronization. Role in sleep. Thalamocortical circuit or thalamocortical loop is an important in generating the pattern of brain activity in sleep-wake cycle. Inhibition of thalamic reticular neurons are proposed to be the part of this neuronal network that causes induction of. Next function is sensory motor coordination. Thalamus receives all sensory input from the body and closely interact with basal ganglia, cerebellum, as well as motor cortex. So it is one of the major structures for coordination between sensory as well as motor function, especially in sensory feedback for correction and improvement in motor output. Role of thalamus is language and speech. Dorsal lateral nucleus of thalamus is reciprocally connected with the parietal lobe of the brain, and therefore it is concerned with language and speech and complex integrated functions. There is a syndrome called thalamic syndrome, which is also called Dejerine-Roussel syndrome or the thalamic pain syndrome. Lesion of the lesion of ventral posterolateral nucleus due to thrombosis of posterolateral branch of posterior cerebral artery. This is the reason for this particular thalamic syndrome. The clinical features of the syndrome will be severe impairment of discriminative touch, pressure sensation of the contralateral side, and diffuse touch, temperature, and pain are often less impaired as compared to the discriminative touch. There is a decrease in muscle tone, weakness of the muscle, and lack of coordination of movements, that is ataxia, as the ventroposterolateral nucleus receive afferent from cerebellum and relay them to the motor cortex. And we all are aware of role of cerebellum in coordination of various activities, and therefore this coordination will not be there, that will be leading to ataxia. Emotions may be affected. Vascular lesion usually spare the medial thalamus, that is ventroposteromedial nuclear group. So sensation in face and head often remain intact. With this, we comes to an end of the thalamus, its various categories of nuclei, the connections of these nuclei, and depending on the connections, the afferent they are receiving, the efferent they are sending, the function that is ultimately brought about, and therefore the role of thalamus in variety of